We're Sean and Megan Jantz.
We believe that a great life consists of small breakthroughs compounded together. The goal each week is to provide tips and strategies to help you achieve your own breakthroughs in your marriage, in your business, and with your money.
Welcome to the Breakthrough Project.
Hey, welcome back, Breakthrough Crew. Sean Jantz here.
And Megan Jantz.
And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about our personal story, our personal journey. We've actually never really dove into this, shared this with everybody in our circle. And specifically, we're going to be talking about sacrifices because I feel like we've made a lot of them, and all of these sacrifices has absolutely gotten to where we are today, right? And when you first sit down with couples and they're starting their business or starting their financial breakthrough, you kind of talk to them about how important sacrificing is, right?
Right, yeah. And I think, we all know that success will not come without sacrifice. So just know, that's part of the journey. There's no negotiating the price you have to pay to get to your goals and dreams. I mean, there's going to be sacrifices. So you just got to...
And you said something I love because it's something I tell everybody. I believe success will happen for anybody the second you stop negotiating the price.
Right.
And I'm very analytical brain, so I'm constantly negotiating price, but I got to snap myself back and go there's no easy way to getting debt free.
Right.
There's no easy way to growing your business. There's no easy way buying a house.
It's definitely not going to be comfortable.
Right, you got to get uncomfortable to be able to have a great life, right?
Yep.
And so I want to take you back kind of to our college years. So I want to start in 2011. So December 2011, we're in Wichita, Kansas. Megan and I were dating at the time. Right now we live in Twin Falls, Idaho, but we're in Wichita, Kansas. Yep. I graduate from a private Christian school. I was playing college basketball, and I ended up getting a business degree. And I honestly, kind of back in 2011, my mindset growing up as a kid, I didn't understand money. I didn't understand business. I just figured I would be an accountant. It was pretty much all I wanted to do. I just wanted to be an accountant, maybe make $75,000 a year, maybe six figures. I didn't have big goals and big dreams because I was just never introduced to that, right? But coming out of school, Wichita is actually a rather bigger city. I couldn't find an accounting job, and I was cum laude and everything. I mean, I was very, very, very disappointed, and so I ended up going and selling cars. And which
is a shocker if you know Sean.
Well, if you knew me back then, I can sell cars today.
That's true.
But if you knew me back then, I was but it was actually one of the best things that ever happened to me because it helped me get out of my introvertedness, learn people and social skills. But at the same time, so you're a year younger than me. So here I am selling cars. You're in your senior year at Wichita State getting a finance degree. A local financial advisor, her name was Linda. She was working for a financial firm, World Financial Group, where we work for now. She comes to your class, speaks to your class, and talks about money and possibly coming in and sitting down with her and learning about financial concepts, right? So you go and sit down with Linda, and what happened in that appointment?
Yeah, so I guess, I was studying finance in college, and I kind of knew I wanted to work with money and stuff. And she came, and I'm so glad she did, and did a presentation. And really, my eyes were just open to really how money works, and how little people actually know about it, and that people don't know what to do with it. And that's where my eyes were just really open, wow, this is what I want to do. I really want to help people with their money and how to get ahead financially, because that's ultimately why I chose finances, because I wanted to get ahead financially. And so
your senior year, you start working with Linda, and all the while you're working at the Buckle too, right? So you're a Buckle girl, which sells retail clothes.
Yep. So I was working in retail, and I just started, part-time, just kind of, on the side, and still working in retail. And then, pretty soon it got hard to kind of sell clothes when I knew people should start saving money instead of spending it every single weekend.
Yeah. And it was actually the same for me. It was really hard for me to get people into car debt when I don't believe in car debt anymore. So I just couldn't do that job anymore. But so you're working with Linda, and you're probably working with her a month or 2 months. And I was very skeptical, right? You would come home and tell me these things you've been learning, and I kind of researched the company. I wasn't too interested in meeting with Linda, things like that. And I wasn't too interested in business and entrepreneurship. My mind was very scarcity mindset back then, if you remember that, right? But eventually you forced me to go sit down with Linda.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of, if I remember right, I tricked you. Like, we were going to go on a date, but I said, well, first,
We're going to stop by the office. I'm like, oh, God, right,
yeah,
okay.
So.
Perfect. So I go sit down with Linda, and of course, I walk in, cross arms, like, what's this lady going to sell me, blah, 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 right? I go and sit down with her. We spend about almost 2 hours. She blows my mind.
Yeah.
We get done. She's teaching me all these things about money and investing and life insurance. She starts sharing how much money she's making and how much money we could possibly make helping people. I've never seen this before, right? So, I mean, I'm just like, I'm in. Like, and honestly, I almost left that appointment like, I think I just found my calling. Like, I love money. I love business. This is what I want to do. And so both of us actually start kind of working with her part-time. I start learning a little bit about the business. I become me, because I'm such a technical brain. I become obsessed with investing in the stock market, and I start learning about stocks, and you're kind of helping some of your friends save and invest.
And I think some of the things we did back then too, that really, looking back, we went to some conferences too, and then I just think we were exposed to, more mentors, and also just more like a bigger vision too.
Yeah, Lyndon was doing really well. We flew out to East Coast to learn from other financial advisors who are making $500,000, $1 million a year, right? We've just never been exposed to that. And we start seeing what our life could look like if you and I started a business together. So we start working with Linda, and then we get engaged. And you're originally from Southern Idaho, where we live now, right? So September 2012. We decide, hey, I quit selling cars. We just basically on a whim, we ended up moving back here to Southern Idaho. We wanted to start our own financial services WFG office. And one of the things that we did, remember this whole theme is about sacrifices. We didn't have a lot of money. And so we moved right in with your parents into their basement. 22-year-old kids, we just graduated college. Normally you want to kind of start your life. We're engaged, but we move in with your parents. Why?
Yeah. Well, because we knew that, if we went and got a house or went and got an apartment, that was not going to fund our office. But instead, we moved in with my parents, we moved into their basement, had to swallow our pride a little bit because, I'm from a small town. Let me tell you, it's not fun being the talk that, Megan's moved home and now she's brought a boyfriend with her too. And, so we knew that our office was going to actually fund our house.
Yeah, and I think it's so important to understand that that's one sacrifice. Maybe you don't have that ability to move in with your parents, but when you're going to start a business, you got to stay lean. And I'm glad that we had that mindset. I don't even know how we absolutely knew to do that, but we stayed extremely lean once we started our own financial services office here in Twin Falls, Idaho. And then as you've stayed full-time in the business, got your financial advising license, so you're open clients all day long. But to kind of help supplement our income, I sacrifice and I go work at a local cheese factory at nights. Here I am, cum laude, business degree. I was valedictorian of my high school, but I decide to go work nights at a cheese factory because then that would, and I only worked 3 days a week. So then that would give me almost 3 to 4 days off. I could work, and then during the day, I can help with the financial advising WFG business, and then I can also trade and invest my money like I was doing in the stock market. So I sacrificed not getting a very good office job, which was what I wanted.
Yeah, it was actually a really bad job.
No, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Right? But I know you got to do those types of things.
For sure. Whatever
job. So I needed a job that worked around my business, not the other way around, right? Wouldn't you agree if you're going to start this business and your job is hampering you growing it? It's time to make a change with the job, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're not going to grow your business with not having a lot more time. And, so you may have to make a sacrifice and do a crappy job or a job that pays you just a little bit less. So that way you can have more time to really pursue your goal, your end game. So
yeah, we help people start WFG businesses. And one of the things is you got to be available Wednesday nights and Saturday mornings. And if your job makes you work Wednesday night, you better get a different job. Which of these is going to get you to the promised land, right? It's your business or your job. So I go work at a cheese factory, trade the stock market during the day. And we eventually, so that was 2013. Okay, 2013, pretty rough year. WFG is doing okay. We're covering minimal bills, right? So then in 2014, probably our hardest year, right?
Yeah. And another sacrifice we didn't really talk about, we didn't have a TV.
Oh, never. I don't remember. And you can see him wearing my KU shirt. I loved sports. I don't remember nothing during those years. No basketball, no football, no TV, no nothing. We weren't like, I read so many books in this time period. It was insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we just didn't even have it, and we really didn't even miss it because, the two of us, I think we were just so focused on where we wanted to be that we wanted to get there like now,
Fast.
so we knew we had to just spend every chance we got working on it. And I mean, I think there was a couple weekends when maybe my parents, we would, watch something, but we were so behind.
No, because I do agree that there is a moment where you do got to just like unplug, or you're gonna implode. So no, yes, we did go to your mom and sometimes watch some shows, but we didn't have a TV or nothing in our house. No Netflix, no Hulu, no nothing. Right, just grinding. Then we go to 2014. Now we're married. Now, I want you to get this. Probably our biggest sacrifice. We knew we needed to stay lean. I'm trading the stock market. We're trying to grow this business. We need to stay lean. So here we are married and we have a dog. We decide to move in with 2 roommates in this little 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. They both have 2 dogs. So for an entire year, we move in with 2 roommates so that we could keep.
We didn't even have the master bedroom.
Yeah, we didn't. And shout out to Leanne and Stormy if they ever listen to this. You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
but it was a really tough year for us. Here we are, newly married. And I think what was really tough is, and this will happen to you, is our mindset. Our identity was not what actually looked like what was happening in our lives. So it was really difficult. My identity was like, I should be richer, like I should have this, but we just know we needed to sacrifice another year, we saved a ton of money living with those 2.
For sure. Well, and I think too, also it made it so like we didn't necessarily want to go home all the time. We didn't want to be home. So we were at our office, so it wasn't like we felt like, oh, we could go relax at home. It was like, no, we don't want to go home because then there's 2 people and 3 dogs.
Such a great point. Like, get your house uncomfortable so you don't want to be there. Like, and so that way you're out there. We were just out there grinding. And so here I am, 2014, our credit card, we maxed out our credit cards, $20,000 in credit card debt. We at one point.
Yeah, I had every card you could get probably.
And so that was really really tough. We maxed out the cards. And then another big sacrifice, sometimes I can't believe we did this. So one of our big sacrifices we made was we ended up selling your car. And we go to the dealership. I mean, we basically gave it away. Because we just needed the money just to cover pretty much our bills for that month. So we sell your car. We go for one car. I think we did one car for almost 9 months.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so bad. I mean, I still remember it was like we had no other option. Like, we had too much pride. We weren't going to ask anybody for money. And so, yeah, we sold our car, sacrificed. And, I mean, it was Sean's idea. So I just said, okay.
Because I didn't want to take money out of my trading account. And so I know that I needed to sacrifice. And so we knew that, like, if we could just do one car and we just needed to make it work, right? And so then, kind of a turning point, August of 2014, I started building a following online. Trading is starting to kind of take off for me. People are asking me constantly, hey, how are you doing this? How are you doing this? And I get a light bulb like, hey, me. And I really did this. So I started my trading online education business. I literally just did it kind of for like a side deal. See if we could make like an extra $1,000, $2,000 a month. So like here I am. I finally learned how to actually trade. Maybe I can teach a few people, make a little extra money.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out I launch it. It grew like crazy. I mean, people loved it. People loved my videos. I ended up bringing on a partner. My best friend is a partner into the business. And so I would say, we talk about breakthrough. 2015 was a breakthrough year. We talk a lot. In 2015, we finally go over gross 100. The first time we go over 6 figures in personal income, and it's grown ever since. We love talking about the bamboo story. Right? And so there's such a great analogy here is that when you first start in your financial breakthrough or your business breakthrough, it's going to be like a bamboo. You got to understand excuse me, you got to understand how a bamboo grows. So bamboos, if you think about them, they're huge, right? They're super, super tall.
Yeah, they're like 80 feet tall.
But in the first 5 years as a bamboo, it grows, if you're watching here on video, it grows about the size of your pinky. The first 5 years. And actually the first 4 years, it grows about the size of your pinky. Okay? And then the 5th year, it grows 90 feet the 5th year. So what was happening during those first 4 years of that bamboo?
It was growing downward.
It was growing roots that you couldn't see. And that is what happens when you build your business. You couldn't see that. You would think Megan and Sean sold their car. They must not be doing very well. In reality, I mean, yes and no. We were building roots, man. Yeah. So then in 2015, boom, I started my business. WFG took off, right? We had all of these roots, and we finally break 6 figures, and then $250,000 after that. And so you got to think, growing out, you're gonna be like a bamboo. You got to build this root system to sustain multiple 6 figures in income. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's, a lot of businesses you can do online. And I think, with social media, I mean, you see like the end result, and, you can't always compare yourself to like people's end result, I mean, you got to think about what they were like when they were first starting too. And it's not going to be easy, and everybody's journey is different. So hopefully you guys don't have to sacrifice as many years as we did till we got it. But, there's, you're gonna go through that,
and some of you are gonna have to sacrifice longer. It's like, what's the alternative?
Right.
Sometimes we help people start a business, and we tell them it's gonna take probably 4 years for a breakthrough, and they go, "Oh, 4 years? I'm not gonna sit around here for 4 years." All right, and then that just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
because they're like,
and then next thing you know,
they're back at their job,
or they're like, "I'm gonna go back to school."
It's
like, how long is that going to take?
That doesn't make
And are you going into debt for it? Yes.
Like 4 years? I'm just going to go back to my job for the next 40. Like, it doesn't make sense. You got to get into whatever business you're deciding to do. Or even like just a journey of winning with money is like, it's just a massive stress. Like, we were so stressed. Back in this time here, 2014, 15, you can go back on Facebook and look at pictures of me. I was over 200 pounds. Like... I mean, it is stress because I had to sacrifice working out because I was working so hard on the business and working so hard on trading. And so that was a sacrifice. So there will be, you do have to sacrifice a few things in your life. And, I will say we didn't have a kid during this time. And so I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
But if you have children, you will have to sacrifice a little bit of time with them to get to where you want to go, right?
Right.
So in 2015, we didn't just, we had a decent amount of money. We finally got most of the debt paid off in 2015. We ended up buying a really small 2-bed, 1-bath house. So we finally got our first house in 2015, like a $100,000 house, which we still own today.
Yep. Yeah, it's perfect for us.
15, like I said, breakthrough year. Then 2016, we make a little bit more money. 16, we get completely debt-free. So I think what's good is that we're making this money, but we're not completely upgrading our entire lifestyle. Instead, we're paying down debt. We're paying down debt. Every money we make, anytime I have a good month trading, we're paying down debt. We're paying down debt, right? So we buy a 3-bed, 2-bath, brand new townhome. We built it, which we still own that today as well. And then last year, we end up buying a 7-bedroom, 4-bath house, which you see now, right? So we own almost $1 million in real estate at the time of this recording, where we may sell some, but in the future. But we own almost think about this. 2012, we're living in your parents' basement.
Broke as a joke.
And now today we own almost $1 million in real estate, and businesses are doing good, and we're still growing, right? I mean, we're not even, this is not the finished product. This is the breakthrough project. Like, part of me wishes we kind of had our podcast back here so people could actually see what we were going through. And we're still going through challenges. I mean, what would you say? What would you say we sacrifice today? Because I still sacrifice a lot of things that I'll share. What would you say?
I just think like not always just going after immediate gratification. Our cars are all paid off, right? Well, my car is not my dream car. It's a 2013 Ford Fusion. Like, that's not what I want to be driving necessarily. I mean, it's fine, it works, but we could go get a new car right now if we wanted to. But
brand new Tesla.
We don't, we just are, we wait because we know we have certain things in place before this, So I would say we just sacrifice immediate gratification of stuff like that, you know, materialistic things that I want to buy.
Yeah, and I think I've sacrificed a lot in terms of, you know, same thing, materialistic things. I think there's a lot of stuff that I want that I could easily have.
Yeah.
And even we could put it on debt, and I mean, you know, but I sacrifice because we pay everything that depreciates in value, we pay cash for, right? So we've been sacrificing those types of things. We could absolutely travel even more than what we do, but we definitely don't because we're still sacrificing, growing.
Yeah. And I mean, my business isn't quite like yours where you just take it on the road with you. I mean, my business requires me to be there. You know, I am a lot of the business, so it's not quite on its own yet without me.
Yeah, we're still, by no means is this when I'm close to our end goal. We're still, and I would say today, things have, you know, we've lightened up a little bit. We do have Netflix, we do have Hulu, we like watching shows. There is a point, because I think people freak out that like they're going to be like this forever, right? It's like, no, it's a short window of your life where you give up TV. And then now we don't watch that much TV. But I mean, like I kind of mentioned, we do have downtime where, like, if we don't, we're going to implode, right? Because we could not sustain the way that we worked back in 12, 13, 14. The hours I put in, that's not sustainable.
No,
you
not
know?
For a long period of time.
No, and so it's only for a short window. You got to be so like head on working on your business, giving up things, selling whatever. I remember we sold a bunch of stuff on eBay. Right?
Yeah, I had big purse fetish. So
we sold a bunch of. I remember I listed all your purses because we needed money. We did a bunch of garage sales.
For way too low until I realized what he was selling them for, and I'm like, oh my god,
just getting rid of them, you know. So we sold a bunch of stuff because we just do not need all of this stuff, right? So I hope that there was some takeaways there. Just you gotta understand the bamboo growth. You gotta build roots that nobody will see. Right? Nobody's going to see those roots because I also like the example of you get after your business and you get after getting debt free. You're going to have a lot of money, but you need to become the person to be able to control this amount of money. So we have self-developed to be like, you could hand me $5 million today and I'll grow it into 25 million. Unlike, because my identity will know how to grow it.
Right.
But imagine, why do lottery winners go broke?
Because our identity.
They didn't have the root system. So it's actually, all of this stuff it's actually the journey. It's not necessarily the end. It's the journey of the person you'll finally become when you make sacrifices. And I think inside the Financial Breakthrough course, I talk about when you actually start doing things that winners do, you're going to start believing like, hey, I deserve to win, universe. Like, I deserve to win, right? And your Raz will go to work and things will start falling into place, right? Because I remember when I would used to think that, and then a big account would come, or, you know, the BTG would have a good month, things like that, because we felt like we deserved to win, and then boom, a big account would hit, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I think, you know, the biggest thing is mindset, you know, just having that mindset of, you know, hey, you've put in the time, you've sacrificed it, you know, you paid the price, now it's time to reap the reward, and you know it's coming too. So,
and have discipline. And I would definitely, my one last tip is to have some backbones with somebody that you can kind of confide in during these times, right? And I feel like I had my best friend, and we have your family.
Yeah. It's, you know, I mean, I wouldn't recommend having like this huge circle of people that you confide in and go through your struggles. Only maybe a couple people that you really trust, because you have to be really careful of like who you share like not bad, but like struggles with, you know? So
because we had to keep up this persona, right? So it was really difficult at times. And so, but we did have some, you gotta have that little mini mastermind of people who kind of know what you're going through. And then at the same time, you also gotta have a mentor and a leader that can constantly sell you the vision, which we've had several of those, right?
Yeah, for sure. And so yeah, I mean, mentor is huge. And then also I just think the main thing is just confide in each other. I mean, there was days when I was like really down. There was days Sean was really down. And so we were just there for each other and just would keep selling each other the dream and reminding each other why we're doing this.
And we still do that today, right?
For sure.
So hopefully you enjoyed this. I'd love to hear some of your feedback. If you're going through these struggles, dude, Like if you would have told me how good it is today, I wouldn't have been so.
Yeah, good for you if you're struggling.
Yeah, honestly, like
for you.
that's you becoming
That's
a greater.
a good sign.
That's a great. Yeah, like you know, I always tell the example. You know, I've been lifting a lot of weights lately, right? And so, like, how does muscles grow? You have to you got to break down the muscle before it can grow. You got to break down your brain and almost to the point of like, oh my goodness, I'm so stressed before your brain can actually start growing. So,
Right.
Hopefully you enjoyed this. Do #breakthrough on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you and stay disciplined.